Hi, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Rihanna, and welcome back to Fresh Off the Broke.
Fresh Off the Broke is about personal experiences growing up Asian American in a predominantly white community, Asian media, and Asian pop culture in general. Race has always been a sensitive topic. Every day there are debates over race. With our podcast, we intend to shed light on the experiences of first-generation Asian immigrants, not put them on a pedestal.
We understand that race isn't everything, but there should be an acknowledgement of people of color, the knowledge gap, and the racial divide that will ideally be broken. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the episode. Today we'll be discussing Asian YouTubers.
Yes, the OG Asian representation in the media.
Yes. Now, I think I'm going to start off by talking about, you guys may have seen it, but on YouTube, there is a video going viral. Well, I think both YouTube and Facebook. And it's a 1956 debate clip of a high school exchange. And there are 4 students in it. One from Indonesia, one from Japan, one from the United Kingdom, and one from the Philippines. And I'm pretty sure this video is going pretty viral specifically because of the Filipino guy, just because of the way that he looks so young, and then he opens his mouth and he sounds very professional. And yeah, I think it'll be linked down below. You should check it out because it's genuinely like a very interesting video to watch, and he has a lot to say that's very important to, even though it was made in 1956, very important to this day and age. So check that video out.
I'm looking at the comments, and someone commented the Filipino guy with their dad.
Oh, yeah. So if you search his name up because of that comment, like, people have started digging deep into this guy. He used to be a, well, I'm pretty sure he passed away now, but his job was, he was a crisis manager for, I think one of the presidents. Give me a sec. Let me fact.
Dang.
But it wasn't like a good thing though, because this was like a controversial person, and like he needed crisis management, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, President Cory Aquino. But they had a little falling out because something happened that, the guy's name is Raul in the video. They, like, something happened to Cory Aquino where he didn't agree with what was going on, and yeah. I'm pretty sure it said, there was a little thing that I was reading about him. It said that he wasn't really proud of it, that he was working for this guy, but you know, stuff happens. But yeah, y'all should watch it.
For some reason, when you said crisis manager for the president, I don't know why, I thought you meant in the U.S.
Oh.
Like, not that would have, excuse me, made it any better, but
yeah.
For some reason, my mind was just like, oh, which U.S. president?
Yeah.
Since you mentioned an article, could you link that in the description if you can find it again for people to check it out? Because honestly, I'm actually pretty curious about this now.
Yeah, so both the video and the article about Raul will be in the description.
Awesome. And one last thing before we move on. When you listen to this, there's like not necessarily a culture shock, but I just felt just taken aback because you know how in the 1950s people had that like typical 1950s like accent or like way of talking?
Yeah, like old-timey way of talking.
Yeah, like seeing an Asian person talk like that, it was just like, whoa.
It's really interesting. Like, he genuinely sounds very professional. And this isn't me being like, oh, Asian people can't be professional, because that's not at all what I'm saying. But it's like kind of shocking to see it, because you don't really see that, like, just the accent. It's the accent, the 1950s accent.
Yeah, it goes to show the lack of representation in general.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be shocking that people of a certain race existed back then, you know?
Yeah.
Of course they existed. But yeah, he's the OG
really
YouTube
is.
star. Speaking of OG YouTube stars, the next segment we're going into is talking about Asian YouTubers that kind of like paved the way
Yeah.
for Asian YouTubers. They're just like people in the media today.
I also think, like, just to note, it's interesting how a lot of OG YouTubers were Asian. Like, there were a lot of them.
Yeah, not like Michelle Phan was like one of the first beauty gurus in general.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even like first Asian. She was just one of the first.
Yeah.
I remember back then she had what was it? There was like a Barbie doll makeup tutorial.
Oh, I
There was like
remember
Lady
that.
Gaga. Like, I remember watching these.
Yeah.
What were some of your like favorite or like, I guess, comfort YouTubers, if that makes sense?
One of mine, definitely Ryan. I think a lot of people can relate.
Mm-hmm.
I would just binge his videos, like specifically like his parkour videos, or like his I Dare You videos, or like the one with Jenna. Oh, that was fun. Yeah. Comfort. Oh, those videos that he would make, like how to sing like this singer, or like,
Oh my
god,
yeah.
Ugh.
I'm thinking it's like flashback to childhood memories. Oh my god, I remember what was it? There was like the Rustin Heber one, like all his like song parodies.
Yeah. Man.
Sigh.
Yeah, I know, right? God, this whole segment is gonna be like that. What about you?
Yeah, for me, Ryan was definitely one of them. Let me think. I watched Michelle Phan a bit. I also really loved watching Lena Doll, like Lena D Production. I remember watching like her skit and also some of her like song parody videos. She also did a lot of like short films and stuff like that.
Yeah, those were good.
And then before I mentioned this, like going back like with Ryan, he like kind of left YouTube and now he's like on Twitch. With Linda, about I would say around this time last year-ish, she uploaded like her last video, which was, like a short film, and then she moved on to another YouTube channel where it was supposed to be more laid back. It was called Linda Sundays, and she would post like a very short skit, sometimes not necessarily challenge videos, but like of the same realm. And then she moved on to TikTok. She's on TikTok now. I'm sure a lot of people have seen her.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what her TikTok ad again. But yeah, she kind of, I don't know if blew up would be the appropriate term, but she has a pretty big following on TikTok.
Yeah, she has 13.4 million followers, 459 million likes, and her TikTok ad is Yolinda.
Damn.
You know how she spells it, Linda? Yeah.
Congrats to her. She posts like I guess like shorts or very short like skits, right?
Yeah. She gets like 1 million views each on average.
Damn, that's like kind of crazy. But yeah, she was definitely one of the not even just like first Asian YouTubers I watched, just one of the first YouTubers I watched, like Ryan, Linda, Wong Fu, Superwoman. I remember I used to watch Superwoman back when she did skits. That's what her channel was mostly comprised of at the time, right?
Yes, skits.
Especially the videos with her parents, like Asian,
Yeah, or
like the
her
whole Asian
fake-
parent thing.
Yeah, those were so funny.
Yeah, it's relatable.
I also used to watch JK News.
Mhm.
I don't even know if they still post. I think they do occasionally, but like they used to post like every single day or maybe like twice a day because they were doing like it was a news channel. So they basically just found funny or like serious news articles and then talked about them, and they would usually have like 2 per episode and be posting every single day.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were really funny. And David was like he would constantly guest on there because they're all friends, and like he was basically a part of it, but he had his own channel. He was also very funny.
Yeah, Bart, he was recently on a podcast. It was the Asian Menswear podcast, and he basically talked a bit about like his, how do I say? I feel like it's cheesy to say like his journey, but just talking about like his, yeah, I guess you could say journey. It's just talk like because it was talked a bit about how he went from comedy and then kind of like created a whole business out of it. So actually, we can link that in the description if y'all want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Shout out Asian Menswear Pod. Yeah, it is kind of crazy how most OG YouTubers are Asian. Like I know you just said that earlier, but like sitting here thinking about it, like
Yeah.
it kind of came naturally, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I guess since YouTube is known as an accessible media platform in a sense, like obviously YouTube still does censor or suppress certain creators, even though they don't admit to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess part of it probably has to do with, like I said, the whole accessibility thing. Like in a sense, even though these people might have not had the intent to be the quote unquote like first Asian, the like be Asian representation, they kind of like made a space for themselves in a sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It wasn't like hey, let's get on this platform because we need representation. It was genuinely just a bunch of like young people hopping onto YouTube because it was the new thing, and a lot of them just so happened to be Asian.
And even aside from individual YouTubers, you had like basically like media companies in a sense, like with Just Kidding News, Wong Fu. Actually, if you look at it, a lot of, it's unfortunate to say, however, 100% understandable. A lot of these OG YouTubers either aren't on YouTube anymore or they've moved on and like pivoted in a sense.
Yeah.
Like with Ryan does Twitch, Linda does TikTok, Wasabi Productions broke out, and also Alex Wasabi. He didn't quit YouTube, but I know he made a video saying that he was taking a break from YouTube. I think it was in January.
Yeah. And Roy is like banking off of kids' YouTube videos. Yeah. It's like kind of, it's not sad. It's more like nostalgic, a nostalgic feeling seeing like YouTubers on like different platforms or different content. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, doing the same thing for so many years, like of course, since some of them they started when they were like really young. For example, like some people might they might have started like when they were teenagers, and like 10 years later, you're definitely not the exact same person as before. So it makes sense that they would either get like quote unquote sick of their content or want to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously you could technically make 1,000 different skits, but they're still all skits, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, from a business standpoint, you would also want to like diversify your content or just try to do other things, because I like some of them have said like just restricting yourself to YouTube, that can also just like close off a bunch of opportunities for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable. And I mean, the biggest disappearance of all. we talk about Kev Jumba.
Man, I will cry.
Yeah, I remember when Linda made a video called "Where is Kev Jumba?" or like what happened to Kev Jumba.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's back. For anyone concerned,
Yeah.
he is back. He is on Twitch and technically YouTube as well. He has like a highlight channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Called Cybermuse, where he does gaming exclusively. Like he plays Valorant. I think he plays. Does he play Minecraft?
He plays Among Us, definitely.
I don't know why. My mind. I think it's just because of how there's been like a wave that's caused Twitch to go like kind of mainstream with like Minecraft, Among Us, and stuff like that. No, definitely not Minecraft. I have no idea where that came from. I think I was just thinking of. Yeah, he's been playing games like that, like Valorant, Among Us, and he's been chilling. And I think that's pretty good for him, because what happened to him was like pretty crazy. Like how he got into an accident, and then like kind of spiraled for a bit.
Yeah.
And then he like officially left YouTube to go like take time off for himself and also like meditate. I remember. And he did charity. He did a lot of charity work too. He worked with these two YouTubers I really liked at the time. They're not Asian. It was Jack and Finn Harris. They I don't know if you heard of them. They used to have Jack used to have this YouTube channel called like Jack's Gap, and it was basically about him taking a gap year, just like basically like two British twins like chilling.
Oh yeah.
But then they moved on, and now they're doing like environmental activism, which is super cool. They have like I guess yeah, they have a whole organization and everything. It's pretty cool. But Kevin worked with them at one point. I remember that they like had pictures together.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mhm. So a brief 5-second moment of silence for Kev, and also we wish you well.
Yes.
If you're listening right now, we hope you're doing great.
We love you, Kev.
We do.
Genuinely.
Yeah, I think he also went on Ryan's podcast, like the Off the Pill podcast, and talked about how he doesn't really have like an intent on like coming back as like Kev Jumbo or whatever, which we totally respect. Like not everyone wants like that type of attention anyway.
Yeah.
Because he did Kev Jumbo when he was like really young too.
Yeah.
And like some people, like not even YouTubers in a sense, some people they could have been like child stars or whatever, and even though they had the opportunities to continue maybe in that industry, they just didn't really want any of that anymore. Mm-hmm. Which is that's normal.
It definitely takes a certain type of person to make a living off of YouTube. And I feel like as you get older, you really have to fit that certain standard to stay on YouTube.
Yeah. Especially since these people, they started so early, like in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And YouTube has definitely changed a lot since then, like with the whole like mid-roll policies and stuff. Like I heard that recently your video doesn't have to be 10 minutes long anymore. I think it only needs to be like 8 minutes for you to add mid-roll ads. And now they have like shorts and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, I don't want to say evolve with YouTube or like adapt, because then it seems like it's on the creator. But like when you've been on this platform for so long and you've seen it change, it's it's going to change for the better and for the worse.
Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of these people started off on YouTube not wanting to be YouTubers. They were just genuinely posting videos because they felt like it, which was the original like goal for YouTube until all of this happened. But like I feel like that's also why we both hold these YouTubers like so close to our hearts, not to be cheesy. But like it genuinely feels like homey when you watch these old videos and like see these people when they were younger.
Yeah, back before YouTube was so business oriented.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. And even if you think about it, let's not even talk about how companies ended up going on YouTube, or like TV shows ended up going on YouTube.
Yeah.
With TikTok, there's like hundreds of brands on there. Like there's like small business TikTok, which is not the same thing, but you know what I mean? Like there is like a huge push for businesses to go on TikTok because of the way the algorithm is. Which it's good, because at the end of the day people do want to like make a living for themselves, whether or not they're like an individual or a whole company. And I don't know, it's like good and also kind of sad.
Yeah.
And like not to be the whole like we live in a society or like capitalism, but at the same time,
Yeah, we live in a society.
Yeah, and capitalism.
Yeah. It's just like there's definitely now more of a disconnect.
Yeah, with these old YouTubers kind of gone, do you have like current Asian YouTubers that you've been watching?
Yes, I do.
Why did you just say no? Like
no,
I don't watch any Asian YouTubers. I make an effort to like
to stop fully. I have a couple, I guess. That sounds worse. I didn't mean it like that. Okay, anyways. I think a lot of YouTubers I watch like are food YouTubers now. So someone like sas-asmr, you've definitely seen her. She's like the ASMR queen on YouTube. Like she was like one of the OG ASMR people.
Yeah. Actually, going back to what you said about how a lot of the YouTubers you've been watching are like food related, there has been an influx in Asian in like the food niche or in like ASMR, which I think is pretty interesting, because they're like bringing, like they didn't necessarily invent ASMR or whatever, but I think it's interesting how not necessarily having representation in those niches, but just how they I don't want to say popularized, but you know what I mean? Like, they've been, one, like doing well in those niches, but two, like they're also just like expanding it in a way.
Yeah, it definitely has to do with K-pop, I feel like, because obviously like mukbangs came from Korea, like obviously, and then K-pop idols started doing them, so then people started getting popular for doing them on YouTube, like specifically Korean YouTubers, and then people started like making the same content because it's getting popular. So there's definitely an influence there.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that I did and still do find slightly annoying about the popularity of mukbang is how a lot of non-Asian or non-Korean YouTubers, they would specifically do these just because they were popular. And there's nothing wrong with following trends, because I mean, you got to do what you got to do to stay on the algorithm or just like do well. But at the same time, like hearing people say like, oh, let's do a mukbang, let's do a whatever, like not even bothering to, one, know how to say it, and two, a lot of them don't know what that even means. Like they think it just means you're just gonna sit there and eat, which I mean, technically you are, but there's a reason why these exist, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The whole idea was to kind of like provide people with company while they're eating, or if like you're talking about like ASMR, it's like relaxing, and also like a lot of people that struggle with anxiety, they listen to ASMR and it like comforts them, which isn't necessarily like an Asian thing, but you know what I mean.
And like it's funny to see there's definitely a difference between like Asian ASMR or mukbang people versus people like what's his name Nick.
Oh no!
How do you say his name? Nick.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like
Nick avocado.
Yeah, yes, that's how you say it. There's
Sometimes
for some reason
my friends send me his thumbnails and I just run away.
Yeah. There seems to be a trend in the West for just doing the grossest ASMR videos or like mukbang videos. And that's not me being like, ugh. Western people are gross. It's genuinely like they try to stuff their face and look gross on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, like we're 100% not even going there, but there's people that enjoy that for like various reasons that we're not going to talk about.
Like this is very popular.
Yeah. And another niche, actually I don't even know if I want to call it a niche, because like the beauty community or whatever has never been like niche in the sense that it is its own world, but at the same time not niche in the sense that no one knows about it. A lot of Asian YouTubers, they've been really like popping off in the beauty community, and like you said, definitely has to do with like the popularity of like K-pop and just like Asian dramas and stuff like that, because a lot of, and we have to acknowledge specifically East Asian YouTubers rather than like South Asian or like West Asian YouTubers, because I mean, one, underrepresented minorities, but two, like with the popularity of K-pop, a lot of people, I remember like maybe it was like 2-ish years ago when people were like in love with the peachy makeup style.
Yep.
There were so many of those tutorials and like how to do a peachy Korean makeup look, how to do whatever. And there's a ton of Asian YouTubers that people watch. Two that I specifically really enjoy watching, I like watching Princess May and Jessica Vu. Princess May, she's never been a YouTuber that's like blown up in any sense. She still has like a pretty, I don't want to say it's a small audience, but I guess in comparison to like the ones that blown up, you can say she has a small audience. Like I mean, she has like over 500K subscribers, so she's not like small, but she does a lot of like really cool videos inspired by like anime hairstyles. She does a lot of, I personally haven't dyed my hair at all, but she does a lot of like in-depth and helpful videos about dyeing your hair, especially since she's friends with like the founder of Fanola. And so she does a lot of videos like that. And I don't know, I've always personally really liked her aesthetic. And I think she's definitely worth checking out. And Jessica Vu, her editing, I've always loved her editing. She puts a lot of effort into it. For example, like sometimes, like just for like a makeup tutorial, it might be completely like video game themed, and like the tutorial might not even be video game themed. It's just the editing style, and it'll be like, welcome to whatever, and it's like press play, and then like everything is in like little windows and stuff, and that's honestly super cool. Yeah, I've always thought it was interesting how, and of course, you don't need to be an editing genius to make it on YouTube at all. I just think it's cool how her videos, even though they might not like require that type of editing, she takes it a step further just to make her videos more like immersive or anything. Because like I said, a video might not be video game or like insert whatever theme, but then she'll do that just for the sake of kind of like making everything connect. So yeah, that's definitely someone people could check out. Her YouTube name is just Jessica Vu, and Vu as in like VU. Okay, correction. I made a mistake. I meant to say that she's friends with the artistic director, not the founder of Fanola. Let's make sure we don't get the wrong information. Although she does have very cool a hair care kit with Fanola. Since one of her big things with her YouTube channel is dyeing her hair, like she always changes her hair color and looks amazing. Like she's done like pink, orange, purple, and it genuinely always looked like not just like beautiful. Her hair doesn't look damaged. You know what I mean?
Can't relate. But yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, she's had even though like I said I don't dye my hair, she has like a lot of very extensive videos on how to take care of your hair if you're gonna like dye it all the time. Because I mean, if you're gonna do it, like make sure you do it correctly, right?
Yeah. I think another YouTuber that I watch is Tina Yu. She's an artist YouTuber, like she sculpts and she paints. I'm pretty like she sells sculptures that she makes, and she makes like process videos on her YouTube.
She's really talented.
Yeah, if you check out her like videos, her sculptures are really pretty and very like detailed.
Yeah. Lots of intricate work.
She definitely like I watched her for a while now. She definitely inspired me when I was younger to like do stuff in regards to like
that's specific.
In regards to art.
Yeah, her work is amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of just like tiny little details that you wouldn't notice from afar. But then like it's one of those things where like the longer you look at it, the more you see, or like the more things that you notice. And it's crazy because not even just sculptors, the idea that visual artists can just make things out of nothing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Crazy.
She does a lot of pop art type like style things, and then she also takes like inspiration from like Asian culture in a lot of hers, in a lot of her work, sorry.
Yeah. Actually, going back to what I was saying about niches and whatever that were popping off, one Asian YouTuber that really blew up during the pandemic. Actually, I'm gonna talk about two, but I'm gonna go with this first one. So you know how during the beginning of quarantine, a lot of people were going into like fitness videos and because they were trying to like I guess like stay in shape during quarantine. Also, like take up new hobbies or just like challenge themselves. There were a number of Asian YouTubers that people were really liking at the time. Like I remember, I'm pretty sure most people will recognize the name like Chloe Ting. A lot of people were doing. They were specific. I can't name them off the top of my head right now because honestly, and I don't mean this in like an insulting way to fitness YouTubers. A lot of their video titles, they do sound kind of similar. Like for example, like insert number of days, squat challenge, or like do this. A lot of people were doing like ab challenges, like squat challenges from her, and there was also a YouTuber. I wouldn't say she necessarily blew up during that time because she's always kind of been like pretty relevant in that realm. Shoot, I knew how to say her name, like her creator name, and then for some reason right now I don't know how to say it. My brain is blanking. But anyways, her name is Cassie, so it's her creator name is basically the word blog, and then if you take Pilates and take out the P, that's her. She also blew up. She was she featured on some like big YouTube channel too. Like she worked with like the Try Guys and stuff.
Dang.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's because these things aren't inherently Asian either, so it's just interesting to see these people doing so well and just like almost random places, you know?
Yeah. Shout out to Eugene.
Yeah. Oh my God. Actually, shout out to Eugene though, because that video that he made about anti-Asian hate, I watched the whole.
Yeah.
It's so well made, like and like obviously shout out to the entire team that worked on that. But oh my God.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It's like a very comprehensive video on Asian American history, of course, in the U.S. And it covered a lot of important topics and talking about also like Asian and Black solidarity. We'll also link that down below because there's a fundraiser attached to that video. So the second YouTuber that I'm going to talk about, technically she blew up on TikTok, although she did have a YouTube channel before. Her name is Miki Rai. She is a nurse. She's an RN. And during the beginning of quarantine, and you know up until now, she has been making TikToks educating people on COVID myths or talking about why you should get the vaccine, ways to stay safe, and general just updates, especially during the peak of the panic.
Yeah.
She would say like, "Hey, this isn't true," or like, "Hey, here's some news about what's been going on," and a lot of people, started following her and keeping up with news through her, which I thought was really cool because, of course, frontline workers, they're going to know what's going on because, they're on the front line. But at the same time, the fact that as someone in such a busy and just like labor-intensive job, for lack of a better term, she took the time to also make all these videos educating people. And her YouTube channel in general talks a lot about her journey to becoming a nurse, which, for people that want to get into that field, is super helpful. Yeah, shout out to her. And I mean like huge shout out because she did a lot for I don't want to say COVID deniers because they're gonna deny it anyway. But she did help with the whole stopping and the clarifying misinformation.
Yeah. Man. Well, I think to end this little segment, I should tell a little funny story. A little shout out. So, very, very early YouTube. Yeah. There was this video that went viral. It was like probably one of like 4 videos on YouTube at the time. And it's called Chinese Backstreet Boys. And it is 2 people lip syncing to I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. And as the title says, it's just 2 Chinese guys lip syncing. Yeah. And my dad showed it to me when I was younger. And I grew up watching this video, but also thinking that they were the Backstreet Boys.
When you told me that we were planning this episode, I genuinely died of laughter. The fact that you saw these two random Chinese guys on YouTube and just decided that they were the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, like I had not heard that song before I saw that video because I was so young. So I was like, oh, I guess these are the Backstreet Boys. Like, they are. And I grew up thinking they were the Backstreet Boys. So yeah, shout out to them.
Technically, you didn't have a reason to think that they weren't.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even though it did say, like, Chinese Backstreet Boys, like, you obviously wouldn't have known what that meant as a kid.
Yeah. I just thought they were the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, it was the only place you heard that song anyway.
Yeah.
It's interesting because one of them, I looked them up, and they're actually still... Actually, I wouldn't say they're still in the industry because YouTube is a different place.
Yeah.
But he does acting in China still. And then the other one, I think he just went back to his quote unquote like normal life. I tried looking him up and I couldn't find anything. But yeah, shout out to them for just
the real OGs. Literally like one of like 4 videos on YouTube at the time.
Yeah, they were living their best life.
Yeah.
They looked so happy in that video. Just
so funny.
Yeah, it brings you back to old 2000s, like lip sync videos. Kind of like the one, the Call Me Maybe one.
Yeah.
With all those, like, you know, like Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, that's like Ashley Tisdale, just like all of those like OG kind of like Disney Channel people. And obviously Justin Bieber wasn't a Disney Channel actor.
Yeah. Yeah, also the videos in 240 FPS.
Yeah, sometimes when I see a video from that long ago and I see that it's just like 240p, it doesn't even bother me. It just brings down like a sense of nostalgia.
Yeah, for real. Like we were saying earlier, a lot of OG YouTubers were Asian, and I think that's why a lot of us really miss OG YouTube, because YouTube back then was just a place for people to be themselves and not so heavily on like, you know, making money, making sure everything is PG, I guess, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like, there were some pretty bad things that happened on YouTube just because of, like, what's the word? People were out of pocket on YouTube in terms of racism. I think that's important to point out, like, especially with the whole, like, obviously a lot of videos of, like, Shane Dawson and blackface are resurfacing. And that was, we have to mention, that was very prominent back then. Which was a very big problem. Still is.
And it's easy to say that times were different, but at the same time, you do have to acknowledge, like, why times were different in a sense, because there were a lot of things, whether or not they're being called out again now, that just weren't okay. And I mean, of course, there are a lot of issues that come with cancel culture. However, at the same time, there are people that deserve to be called out, not necessarily canceled, since, you know, like people have said, like canceling people, obviously, depending on what it is, just eliminates the room for conversation, in a sense.
Held accountable. Sorry.
Because, like you said, there were a lot of YouTube videos and some YouTubers who might have even built their brand on stuff like that.
That's Shane Dawson.
But yeah, another thing that I want to add, like what we were saying about the whole, a lot of Asian YouTubers being, a lot of OG YouTubers being Asian. Back then, when you're kids, you don't really think about representation that much. Apart from, hey, that person looks like me.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very, I don't even know if I want to say wholesome. It's more just an innocent also kind of inspirational things. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
that person kind of looks like me. Because a lot of media, whether or not it's YouTube, it could even be a movie. Sometimes when you see a kid, when a kid sees a character or an actor that looks like them and they've never seen someone like that, it can do a lot for someone in terms of allowing them to know what they can do. Like what we said in our Asian in the media episode, it's like it can even be a subconscious thing. You don't realize that you've never been represented in that sense, and you see it, you're like, oh, dang, someone that looks like me did that. Like a very short shout out. We're doing a lot of shout outs in this episode. Shout out to Shang Chi, like the trailer just came out very recently.
It looks sick.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, and they put it out on Simulu's birthday. So even though that's not necessarily YouTube, check that out when it comes out.
Yes. Also, like going back to what you said, I think seeing these people on YouTube, like as a platform when we were younger, definitely also like influenced us unconsciously, like us specifically. Like, look at what we're doing now. So.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd be where we are today in a sense without these people.
Yeah, like we're both not the type of people to be like, let's be influencers, you know, like we genuinely just wanted to not talk, but you know what I mean.
We just wanted to talk.
Yeah, we just want to talk.
Yeah, there's a ton of Asian podcasts that definitely came before us, you know, like Asian Boss Girl podcast. Everyone loves them. We have Off the Pill. The Fung Bros had a podcast for a brief moment. I don't think they're I don't want to say they canceled it, but they just stopped after a while. But yeah, we really wouldn't be where we are today without these people.
Yeah, no, we would not have the courage to do any of this.
So
thank you.
If any of you are watching right now, thank you for deciding to click on the create video thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
You not just impacted our lives, you impacted the lives of millions of Asians, whether or not they're Asian Americans, Asian Canadians, Asian Australian, or Asians from Asia. So thank you.
Yes.
And thank you for tuning in today. Be sure to leave a comment about your favorite YouTubers, OG YouTubers you so I'm gonna say listen to. I mean, technically, hey, Asian musician, you could also leave a comment about that.
True.
And, you know, leave a comment about what it was like for you growing up with Asian YouTubers, maybe like what we said, like how it's impacted your life. leave a comment if you know that Backstreet Boys video Rihanna was talking about. Comment down below if you thought they were the Backstreet Boys.
No one's gonna comment now. It's just me.
Do it. You should leave a comment.
I will leave a comment.
Just for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I think in honor of today's episode, I will say this. Be sure to smash that subscribe button.
Turn the like button.
Ring the bell right now. If you haven't rung the bell, what are you doing? What else do they say? Smash that like button. Leave a comment. Well, you already said that.
Subscribe for free iPhone 12.
Yeah. Just subscribe.
Destroy.
It's 3, 2, 1. You're a loser. Ready? 3, 2, 1. You're a loser. Sorry.
That was aggressive.
I've seen people do that.
Really? Really?
Yeah, like people will count down in their video and be like, "Did you subscribe?"
I'm waiting.
Yeah, we're waiting. Well, okay. Anyways,
We hope you enjoyed that, and if you didn't, we're sorry.
Yes. If you guys like this episode and want to stay connected with us, check out the website in our description. It contains links to our streaming platforms such as Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and more. Follow us for more behind-the-scenes content, announcements, and other random things we decide to put on there.
Thank you so much. Bye.